Breakfast habits built over decades can feel impossible to question. The same foods, the same routines, the same quick morning meals that once seemed completely harmless. But after age 60, the body processes sugar, refined carbohydrates, and highly processed foods very differently than it did earlier in life. And one common food continues to raise concerns among health experts because of how often it may contribute to energy crashes, blood sugar spikes, and poor nutrition in older adults. What makes this food concerning isn't that it's eaten once in a while. The real issue is how normal it has become in morning routines. Millions of seniors eat it regularly because it's quick, inexpensive, and often marketed as a healthy way to start the day. But after age 60, the body usually responds differently to foods high in added sugar and refined carbohydrates. Energy may not last as long, hunger can return faster, and blood sugar often becomes harder to keep stable. Over time, these small, daily habits may begin affecting how older adults feel, physically and mentally throughout the day. That's why health experts encourage seniors to pay closer attention to the foods they eat in the morning, especially ones that seem healthy at first glance, but may provide very little real nutrition. Point number 1. Highly processed cereals digest extremely quickly once they enter the body because they're often made with refined grains and large amounts of added sweetness. They can cause blood sugar to rise rapidly, especially in older adults, whose metabolism naturally changes with age. At first, that quick rise may feel like a boost of energy, but the effect usually doesn't last very long. Sudden drop in energy can follow not long afterward, sometimes leaving seniors feeling hungry, tired, or mentally sluggish before the morning is even over. Health experts often recommend choosing foods with more protein and fiber because they tend to digest more slowly and help support steadier energy levels throughout the day. Point number 2. Highly processed cereals usually contain very little protein that becomes more important after age 60 because the body naturally loses muscle mass over time, and protein helps support strength, balance, and healthy aging. Without enough protein early in the day, hunger may return much faster than expected. Some seniors also notice they snack more often later in the day after eating meals that are mostly refined carbohydrates. Nutrition experts frequently recommend adding protein-rich foods into morning routines, such as eggs, plain Greek yogurt, nuts, seeds, or other balanced options that help the body feel full longer and maintain steadier energy. Point number 3. Fiber also becomes increasingly important with age. It helps support digestion, cholesterol balance, and healthy blood sugar control. But highly processed cereals are often stripped of much of their natural fiber. During manufacturing, even products labeled as whole grain may still contain added sugars and relatively low amounts of fiber compared to less processed foods. Without enough fiber, digestion may feel slower and fullness may not last very long after eating. Point number 4. Portion sizes can easily become misleading. A bowl that looks normal may actually contain 2 or even 3 servings depending on the product. That means seniors may consume far more sugar and refined carbohydrates than they realize in a single meal. Because serving labels are usually very small, a lot of people never notice how quickly calories and sugar can add up. Over time, this may make weight management and blood sugar control more difficult. Point number 5. Highly processed morning foods may also increase cravings later in the day. After rapid digestion and a quick energy drop, the body often begins looking for another fast source of energy that can lead to more snacking, stronger cravings for sweets, or for feeling unsatisfied not long after eating. Health experts often explain that balanced meals containing protein, healthy fats, and fiber tend to support steadier appetite control throughout the day. Point number 6. Blood sugar control becomes one of the biggest concerns after age 60 as the body ages. Insulin sensitivity naturally changes, meaning sugar may stay in the bloodstream longer than it once did. Foods made with refined grains and added sweetness can place extra stress on that system when eaten too frequently. For seniors already dealing with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, this becomes even more important. Repeated blood sugar spikes over time may contribute to fatigue, inflammation, and other long-term health concerns. That's why nutrition experts often encourage older adults to build meals around slower digesting food that provide steadier energy instead of rapid spikes and crashes. Point number 7. Another concern involves heart health. Some highly processed cereals contain surprisingly high amounts of sodium, artificial ingredients, and added sugars, while eating them occasionally is unlikely to cause major harm. Relying on them every day for years may not support healthy aging very well. Research continues to show that diets high in ultra-processed foods are often linked with poorer cardiovascular health. Over time, heart health becomes increasingly important with age, which is why food quality matters more than convenience. Alone. Point number 8. Mental clarity can also be affected by unstable energy levels. Some seniors notice they feel mentally sharp after balanced meals, but sluggish after heavily processed foods. Rapid blood sugar swings may contribute to brain fog, irritability, or trouble concentrating for certain individuals, because the brain relies heavily on stable energy. Foods that digest too quickly sometimes leave people feeling less focused. Later in the morning, balanced meals with protein, fiber, and healthy fats tend to support more consistent energy for both the body and mind. Point number 9. Highly processed cereals are often heavily marketed, using words like healthy, wholesome, fortified, or made with whole grains. But marketing can sometimes create confusion. A product may contain added vitamins, while still being high in sugar and low in real nutritional value. That's why health experts recommend reading nutrition labels carefully instead of relying only on the front of the package. Looking at added sugar, fiber, and protein content often provides a clearer picture of how supportive a food really is for healthy aging. Point number 10. Digestion also changes with age. The digestive system often becomes slower and more sensitive over time. Foods low in fiber and high in refined carbohydrates may leave some seniors feeling bloated, uncomfortable, or unsatisfied soon after eating. Hydration, fiber intake, and balanced nutrition become much more important later in life. That's one reason less processed foods are usually encouraged more often by nutrition professionals. Point number 11. Convenience can sometimes become the biggest reason people continue unhealthy habits. Highly processed cereals are quick to prepare, easy to store, and heavily advertised toward busy lifestyles. But convenience alone does not always mean a food is supportive for long-term wellness. Simple alternatives like oatmeal with nuts, eggs with whole grain toast, or plain yogurt with fruit may take only a few extra minutes while offering significantly better nutritional balance. Point number 12. Morning nutrition can influence energy for the entire day. Starting the day with refined carbohydrates alone may leave seniors feeling tired sooner than expected. Meals that combine protein, fiber, and healthy fats usually provide steadier energy and longer-lasting fullness that can help support better activity levels, appetite control, and overall well-being throughout the day. Point number 13. Healthy aging is rarely about one single food. The bigger issue is the long-term pattern. Eating heavily processed foods every day for years may gradually affect weight, blood sugar, heart health, and overall energy levels. Small improvements made consistently over time often have a much bigger impact than extreme short-term diets. Point number 14. Nutrition experts frequently remind seniors that balance matters more than perfection. Completely avoiding favorite foods forever is not necessary for most people, but becoming more aware of ingredients so that sugar content and portion sizes can make a meaningful difference over time. Simple adjustments repeated daily often support healthier aging far more effectively than dramatic changes that don't last. Point number 15. The goal isn't fear, it's awareness. A food that seemed harmless decades ago may simply no longer fit the body's needs after age 60, in the same way it once did. And understanding how aging changes nutrition needs, they help seniors make better choices that support steadier energy, healthier habits, and better long-term wellness. Small choices repeated every day often shape health more than people realize. And after 60, paying closer attention to simple habits may be one of the most important steps toward healthier, stronger aging.